All right.
All right.
Incline bench.
So we're just warming up. So you just take your time.
Who is warming up with 3 plates on incline bench? Proper strong. Proper strong. If we could strip down to one plate, I'll do my first one there. Yeah.
One biscuit for the big lad.
Give us a plug for the movie. Tell us what it's called. Tell us what it's about.
Yeah.
Where people can see it.
So, first of all, thanks for coming in.
Of course.
Thanks for hanging.
Yeah, of course.
We are a day away from the release of Magazine Dreams. The struggle of a guy that wants to be famous, he wants to be known, he wants to be seen, is what the movie's really about, the core of it. And his process to do that, and it's an incredible movie. You guys are gonna absolutely love this. Mostly if you, and in today's world, it seems like everybody wants to be seen.
Yeah.
But the understanding of takes time. You will do this, and I mean the journey of health and fitness or life better if you keep the focus on the work, the daily grind, and fall in love with that relative to fame and money.
Yeah.
If you're chasing fame and money, that's a quick road to demise.
Sure.
And
so have you always loved the fitness side more than you've loved the acting side?
I was born and raised to be an athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
I was lucky enough to be in the magazines by 1987 and doing this and winning the
1987.
Yeah. But winning powerlifting and winning bodybuilding as a teenager and a man, that was cool to be on the magazines and then and winning the shows and winning Mr. Universe and all this stuff. But for me, it's always been the grind.
Sure.
I love the process. I love the fight, the mental fight, the voice in my head when you train.
Yeah.
That's the shit I love.
Let's just round out the movie conversation. Sorry, I don't want to miss it. Where can people see it?
Theaters worldwide.
Oh,
Comes
amazing.
out Friday.
Proper.
Yes. And it's getting Oscar buzz. We crushed it at Sundance Film Festival.
Great.
And so, I think you guys won't need me to say anything. You'll be hearing about this one.
How good.
Yeah,
How good. That's awesome.
All right, smart cat jumping into a nice one. Well, it's not 135, but
Do you bench on a squat bar?
I do.
Why?
I like the stiffness. I also deadlift on this.
You deadlift on a squat bar?
Squat bar.
Oh, dude, that is punish. That is punish.
Any idea why that would be?
Why, what?
Why would I deadlift with a squat bar?
Is this a quiz?
Nice.
Is that a quiz?
I'm curious if there would be that you understand if there is a benefit.
Well, your primary goal is muscle and hypertrophy and tension on your body, right? So
No.
I would imagine. Okay.
No.
Then what's your primary goal?
Incredibly strong ligaments.
That's a really strange goal.
100%.
Why is that your primary goal?
Because that is the only true longevity.
Okay, right.
Muscle grows.
Yeah.
And it also grows from training or nutrition.
Yeah.
Ligaments grow off of stress.
Sure.
So I will stress it, and I'll stress it in ways and angles that is minute.
I'll jump up.
Small changes,
Yeah.
different changes, different range of motions. And I understood that young. It's if I can make my ligaments bionic, then I can do this for a lifetime.
And so what do you do to do that? Like, do you do a bunch of isometrics and eccentrics?
I stay, first of all, heavy on everything.
Okay.
Second thing is it's more important the volume relative to the rep range. So one, I think of volume is small moments of burst. High reps is mileage. At the end of the day, that mileage will add up.
Yeah.
And I've been training since I was 9. So the one thing is, it's the mileage I need to keep to a minimum so that way I can do it longer.
Okay.
Compared to the guy who goes, I do lightweight for 100 reps. And I'm like, that's great. I'll do 100 pounds for 1 rep.
Sure.
The stress of the body relative to the mileage.
That's so funny because everyone else would have the opposite interpretation, saying the heavier you go, the more you're destroying your body.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Stress to the body strengthens the body. The bone density gets better.
Yeah.
Your ligaments catch up and they move slower than muscle.
Yep.
And so my whole point, ligaments.
Right.
Side effect of eating right and training will give you muscle.
Sure.
So that takes care of itself. I don't need to focus on it.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Come on, beast.
Yep.
Nice.
So cool in here. Like every bodybuilding gym that has pictures up on the wall is sort of a sad replication of all of the pictures you see around here. And I would imagine a good chunk of these guys have been in here as well, if not all of them. But look at this wall. Film that wall with literally dozens. And this is one of what I've seen 3 rooms. So Mike, to answer your question, why you deadlift with a squat bar, I imagine you just prefer the larger range of motion. And when you get slack out the bar, so if you deadlift 5, 6, 7 plates, it gets to a point where you pull, and then after you pull, it's like the weight hits you a second time. So that like jolts can be really uncomfortable. That's what I can imagine. But a smaller bar that whips, you could pull more on that bar, but you have to be technically ready for it, where that would just be smoother, albeit way more difficult.
So, yeah, you know this stuff. Yeah, for me, and we'll deadlift on a 6-inch platform. So I'm pulling it even from a lower.
So you're pulling that bar off of your shoelaces?
So
wow.
There's absolutely no give.
Yeah.
So the strain of that pull, that dead stop from the start, as gravity works, comes from such a lower position. And for me, the reason I do that is I also do martial arts and stuff. And so I want to be strong in the most elongated position.
Yeah.
Not in, how strong are we right here? Sucked up, right?
Yeah.
Half squat. How strong are you?
Very strong.
But how strong are you off 11 inches from the ground?
Sure.
How strong are you high necks, behind the necks? Those are my more focused movements. Also, stretching the ligaments, keeping them so freaking tight in those positions. So if I do 100 pounds on a 6-inch blocks, we'll just take the number so you guys all get it. 100 pounds on a 6-inch block with a straight bar, and then I go to sumos with a Texas power bar.
Yeah.
With my shoes off. Now what am I deadlifting?
You're well prepared. Yeah, of course.
I don't worry about the number.
Yeah.
As I worry more about the stress and the position I'm putting myself in.
Okay.
And so if I can do the harder stuff and stay healthy and keep moving it, and then do like 500 or 600 pounds like that on a 6-inch block, and I walk back over it and somebody goes, well, let's just deadlift, and we do it old school style. Then my numbers are right where they've been since they were 20.
Sure.
So that's why I do it. I go, no bullshit. I want the fucking straight bar. Sorry, language. I want the straight bar. I want the tension from the start of it, so I can set up myself to win later.
So talk rep ranges. What are you gonna hit on something like an incline?
I'll see how the body feels. We are dieted down. I know I have the movie coming out. This is Hollywood. I start my next movie with Francesca Eastwood this weekend.
Okay, wow.
So
cool.
I am dieting and slicing, so I'm dried out right now. So I don't know, and that's the cool thing about weightlifting. Weightlifting is give your best that day. I know if you're doing a powerlifting meet, I can set my numbers up.
Of course.
I don't got that luxury. So I got the luxury of going, well, I can still lift. Let me see what I can do. I'll hit a nervous system lift, and that's how I warm up. I only warm up nervous system, I don't warm up muscle.
Sure.
And then I'll get to some weight and then come back and hit maybe 8 to 10 reps.
Do you know what I love? I'm sure when you voice these opinions, you get so much pushback, and I probably 3 years ago would have been very skeptical and started talking to you about the research and this and this and this. But ultimately, you're your age. I don't think you've had any catastrophic injuries.
No injuries.
So there's something to be said for just what works, right?
It doesn't just work for me, but it works with people I've worked with. And then on top of that, I'm already there. So the argument can't be made.
Exactly.
It's like there's Wolff's Law, there's Davis' Law, which talks about what I'm talking about is bone density, ligament strength, and all that. And then on top of it, somebody asked me, what's your best bench? I'm like, well, it was 600. Okay.
Right.
It's not as impressive to me is that I've been able to bench 405 for 40 years.
Yeah.
Most people never visit that number,
Yeah.
and I've got to do it every day for 40 years.
That's amazing.
And so those are the things that I'm trying to bring to the health and fitness going, you don't need to peak in college.
Sure.
That doesn't need to be it.
Sure.
You can go so much further than that.
Yeah.
And again, it's people like Robbie Robinson, the people I'm around that were ahead of me, that's who I ask questions.
Sure.
3?
Yeah, I'm good.